Eggs are my favorite food, second only to potato chips. And this year, I've been practicing lots of different ways to make them for breakfast. Here are 7 ways to cook eggs. To start the week, we're gonna do fried eggs. You can toast the bread in the toaster, but today I'm gonna butter the bread and toast it in the pan. You go until the butter kind of turns the bread golden, and flip. While it toasts, I also wash some blueberries. After the toast is done, I slice and spread the avocado on. I don't have any prettier bread right now, but you can use any kind of bread you like for avocado toast. The sausage goes in the pan to warm up. I usually use the microwave, but right now the pan is convenient. Lastly, I fry the eggs. Heat oil in the pan or use butter for less burning on the bottom of the egg. Crack it in and wait until the thicker white that's around the yolk starts to become opaque. Then flip to cook the white on top and finish cooking for only about 15 to 25 seconds. It comes out and goes on top of the avocado toast. To top it off, finish with some Trader Joe's everything seasoning. Ta-da! For Tuesday, we'll make an omelette. I'm gonna fill mine with mushrooms, onions, and cheese. I start by lightly caramelizing the onions to soften them a little bit. I use red here, but you can also use yellow onions. I also saute the mushrooms a bit. Take them out of the pan for later. Beat 2 eggs together and let them cook in the pan over medium to low heat. You can add seasoning at this time. Next, flip the egg over. Ooh! Check out that perfect flip. And put the filling back in. Lastly, top with cheese and fold it over to melt it. When the egg is cooked on the other side, it's finished. Add a side of peach and the omelette is done. You can fill it with anything you like, but I love mushrooms and onions. Today, we'll soft-boil eggs. The key to good soft-boiled eggs is a timer and experimentation. I started out looking up times online, and then you just adjust every time you make them. If it was too raw, then increase the time. If it was too cooked, then cook it a little less. Currently with my stove, I think 7 minutes and 30 seconds is exactly how I like it. I use a spoon to slowly slip the eggs into the water. If the eggs just came out of the fridge and are cold, sometimes quickly entering the hot water shocks them and the shell cracks, so just make sure they can adjust to the temperature gradually. I also made some oatmeal by adding quick oats to an apples and cinnamon packet. Eyeball the water and microwave for a bit. For fruit, I wash some blackberries. After the eggs come out, I run them under cold water to cool them down for about a minute or 2, and then they peel easily. Today's eggs were cooked a little on the long side, but they still tasted great. Today we're going to make a fancy poached egg to add to ramen to spice it up. All you have to do is make a tornado in your pot of boiling water and drop the egg in. I'm still working on my whirlpool skills, but the egg turns out alright. It cooks for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I wash it in cold water to cool it off, and store it in water for later. A lot of egg protein is still hanging out in the pot, so I take out as much as I can and then reuse the water to cook the ramen. I usually add cold water to make the ramen soup after the noodles come out, to avoid the oily cooking water and also to cool them down. The noodles are usually hot enough that the cold water immediately warms anyway. It just makes it a little less boiling hot. Lastly, I added some fish balls for some extra nutrition. To top it off, add some sesame oil, and of course, the egg. 짜잔! It's almost the end of the week, and it's time for some easy scrambled eggs. Start by slicing the bagel and putting it in the toaster oven. My secret to good scrambled eggs is beating the eggs first and melting a solid amount of butter in the pan. Sometimes I crack and scramble right in the pan, but I think if you take the trouble to beat it first, it turns out better. Cook over a relatively medium heat and carefully move it around until it looks like it's done. My cooking philosophy in general is to put food in a pan and cook until it looks like I'll eat it. Kind of freehand rather than an exact science. Butter the bagel, and that's breakfast. For Saturday, I'm gonna try steaming an egg, which I've never done before. Because I don't have a steamer, my strategy is to boil a low amount of water in a pot, and then put a wire rack inside to put the mug on. My mom told me to about double the volume of the beaten eggs with water. I also added parsley and salt. Cover the mug with foil to prevent water drops from ruining the top of the egg. While waiting for it to cook for about 11 minutes or so, I reheat some leftover mashed potatoes. When I took it out, I noticed the top was still watery and jiggly, so I put it back in for a few more minutes. In the end, I think doubling the eggs with water was a little bit too much, so next time I'll put a little less than double. Yummy! The last way we'll cook eggs this week is sunny side up. This is pretty similar to fried, but I use less oil and cook at low heat to avoid burning the bottom. After the egg white around the yolk starts to harden, I put in some water and cover to steam the top. My stomach can react pretty badly if I eat egg that is too undercooked, so even though this covers the bright yolk with cloudy white, it makes sure the whole thing is cooked. To mop up the runny yolk, I have some buttered toast. Tasty! And that's my week in eggs. Have a good breakfast!